Hi there, Andrew Stephenson here. I'm a lecturer in philosophy at the University of Southampton, and I specialise in the philosophy of mind and the work of Immanuel Kant, the German Enlightenment philosopher. In this video, I'm going to be talking about functionalism. This is a topic in the Metaphysics of Mind section of the AQA Philosophy A-level syllabus. And what I'm going to say about functionalism is going to be closely related to that syllabus. So, let's dive right in. What is functionalism? Functionalism is a view about the fundamental metaphysical nature of mental states, states of the mind. In a nutshell, it says that being a mental state is a matter of doing certain things. That is, according to functionalism, it doesn't so much matter what minds or mental states are made of, rather it matters what they do. We identify mental states by identifying what's called their function or functional role. So, what do mental states do? What is their functional role? Now, this is a complicated question. For one thing, mental states do a lot of different things, and different kinds of mental states do different kinds of things. Nevertheless, I'm going to start by giving a brief, abstract formulation of what mental states do, in very general terms, and then I'm going to give a more concrete example, filling in some details. So in the abstract, and very generally, mental states mediate between sensory inputs and behavioural outputs, perhaps interacting with other mental states in doing so. Like I said, this picture's rather abstract and very general, so let's take a more concrete example. Suppose that I believe there is cake in the fridge. This is a mental state. Belief is a mental state. What is the nature of this mental state of mine? What is it? Well, suppose I saw the cake in the fridge this morning. This is what brought me to believe that there was cake in the fridge. And suppose that now, in the afternoon, I want some cake. So given what I saw, what I believe, and what I want, I get up from my desk and I go to the fridge to get some cake. That's a normal, everyday situation, right? Well, functionalism says that what it is to be the mental state of believing is nothing more and nothing less than playing a certain role in this kind of situation, this kind of network in which things like seeing, wanting and believing and behaving are related in a certain way. So in this case, my seeing the cake in the fridge caused my belief that the cake is in the fridge. I believe the cake is there because I saw it. Now seeing involves sensory input, so my belief about the cake being in the fridge is related to some sensory input. But more than this, my belief interacted with my desire for cake to cause me to get up from my desk and go to the fridge. My desire for cake, my wanting cake, that's another mental state. And my getting up to go to the fridge is my behaviour. So my belief is related not only to sensory input, but also to other mental states and to my behaviour, my behavioural output. Now, most people agree that beliefs play this kind of role in relating to sensory inputs, other mental states like desires and behavioural outputs. But functionalism says that in its typical formulation, it says that there's nothing more to being a state of belief than playing this kind of role, the role I just described. A belief just is something that plays a role in this kind of network. Okay, so that in a nutshell is what functionalism is. But to get more of a grip on the theory, it's going to be useful to say what it's not, right? And to do that, we're going to contrast it with some other theories. First, take René Descartes' theory of mind-body dualism, according to which minds and their mental states have to be made up of a special kind of substance, thinking substance, which is fundamentally different in kind from physical bodily extended substance. By contrast, functionalism says that it doesn't much matter what mental states are made of. It only matters what mental states do. So as an analogy, consider the difference between a diamond and a knife. Diamonds have to be made of carbon. Shiny, transparent gems made of other things than carbon, or let's say some cut glass, aren't diamonds, even though they may look exactly like diamonds to the untrained eye, and even if they do all the same things that diamonds do, unless they're made of the right substance, carbon, they're not diamonds. They're just not. But now take knives. Knives, by contrast, can be made of all sorts of material. Metal, plastic, glass, obsidian, dragon glass. Indeed, it doesn't so much matter what a knife is made of, so long as it cuts things. And in this way, and very roughly of course, the functional theory of mind, functionalist theory of mind, says that mental states are more like knives than like diamonds. Mental states are more like knives than like diamonds. What matters is what they do, not what they're made of. And this distinguishes the view from Descartes' mind-body-substance dualism, which says that minds and mental states have to be made of a special kind of substance. The same point about functionalism also distinguishes it from what's called the mind-brain identity theory, which says that mental states are states of the brain. Now, if brains have to be made of some particular kind of stuff, neurons say, which is a special kind of biological cell, then it follows that mental states have to be made of this same kind of particular stuff, neurons. But functionalism disagrees. It says that what matters is what mental states do, not what they're made of. So in particular, they don't have to be made of neurons. This brings us to an important point about functionalism, in contrast to mind-body dualism, mind-brain identity. If what matters is what mental states do, and if multiple different kinds of mental state can perform the same kind of function, then multiple different kinds of thing can be or realize the same kinds of state. And this is called multiple realizability. In particular, mental states might be realized in the brain and its neurons, as they are with humans, but they might also be realized in a computer. Computers aren't made of neurons, they're not made of biological cells. But nor are they made of a thinking substance in René Descartes' sense. But arguably, computers do, or at least could, have parts that mediate between sensory inputs and behavioral outputs in just the way that mental states do. And according to certain versions of functionalism, that would mean that computers would thereby have mental states, since all that matters to mental states is having a certain function, playing a certain role, a role or function that can be realized by multiple different things. Brains, computers, maybe even aliens, but that's a topic for another day. Finally, it's important to distinguish functionalism from a closely related view in the philosophy of mind called behaviorism. Behaviorism says that there is nothing more to a creature being in a certain kind of mental state than that that creature behaves or is disposed to behave in certain ways in certain circumstances. So according to behaviorism, mental states don't mediate between sensory input and behavioral output. Rather, according to behaviorism, they're fully reducible to sensory input plus behavioral output plus some other external factors, environmental factors. According to behaviorism, there is no theoretical role, no role in the theory of mind for anything internal to the psychological subject that mediates between sensory input and behavioral output. In this sense, then, behaviorism denies altogether the reality of internal mental states. Functionalism is quite different. It accepts the reality of internal mental states and the indispensable theoretical role in a theory of mind of something internal to the subject that mediates between the sensory input and the behavioral output. Functionalism just says that what plays this role, i.e. mental states, can be realized in very different kinds of thing, be it in the neurons of the brain or the parts of a computer. So, that's functionalism. It's a theory of mind and its mental states that says that being a mental state is a matter of doing something. Specifically, it's a matter of mediating between sensory input and behavioral output, doing so in certain ways and perhaps interacting with other mental states in mediating in this way. As such, functionalism says that mental states are more like knives than like diamonds, and it allows for the multiple realizability of the mental, be it in the brain or in computers. And functionalism is distinct from the other theories of mind, such as mind-body dualism, mind-brain identity theory, and behaviorism. Good. That's all for now. Stand by for more videos on functionalism. In these other videos, I'll be talking about arguments for and against a theory. So in this video, I'll just be talking about what functionalism is and what it's not. but I haven't yet told you why we might think the theory is right or wrong. I'll do that another time. In the meantime, be sure to check out our website and follow us on Twitter for more from the philosophy department at the University of Southampton. And don't forget to check out the other videos in this series, where other philosophers and myself at Southampton are covering the whole A-level philosophy syllabus and more. That's it. Bye for now.